Live. I'm live. Hello, folks. Welcome to Quad Vision. It's Vision times 4. Quattro. Anyway, now would be a good time to insert ads. Apparently so. All right. Yes. Welcome to Tide Zone as well. We're here. Now that's prepared. It surely is. Yes. I was preparing a little bit in advance because I was working on a repair video and I was like, I'm going to run out of time on this. So instead of running late, I'm going to reconfigure things. I'm hoping to carry on with that repair video during this stream, but I want to make sure that I can record at the same quality I normally would. So I'm on the recording profile, but I've just basically added in streaming at the same time. And all things considered, there's no reason why this computer shouldn't be able to manage that. So yeah. However, the only downside of that means that I am kind of locked to... I'm more or less locked to this tile view at the moment because this is obviously the format that I want to record the video in. I mean, I guess I could switch... if I'm not recording, because I'm not recording right now. I'll click start recording on the bits that I want to record, blah 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 blah, but whatever. That much being said, for the most part this is also good. Whatever. Right. Yes, Caradog is still in Monte Carlo. Probably at an F1 race. It's a private F. If you're wondering why the F1 race isn't being televised, it's because it's a private one. Only cool people get to see or go to it. So yeah. But yes. Nope, Caradog is away this week as well. Then, yeah, he will be back next week. Unless I take the weekend off. Because I can see another weekend off in my future. But we'll see. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'll do it at random when I feel like it. Before Christmas at some point. But yes. Congratulations, it seems I'm in the elite YouTube class of sending out notifications at the correct stream start. I think that's more luck than skill, to be honest. Although if you ever want up-to-date notifications, unironically, being in the Discord server is the best place because the Discord bots that send out pings when I start streaming on Twitch or YouTube or a video goes live or something like that, those are pretty on point in my experience and will generally ping basically bang on time. So yeah, I mean, looking back through the news view, actually, it is always within a minute or two of me actually starting. So yeah, make of that what you will. Anywho, let's see. So 6800 fun. Yeah, well, not fun, I don't think. I think it's going to be. I think this is going to be a bust, and I think I'm going to have an argument with the YouTube seller. And by an argument, I mean I'm just going to have to just send it back to them and be like, sucks to be you, chief. That's what happens, you know. Because, yeah, I bought this 6800 on YouTube. It came on eBay. It came in its original box and everything. I've kind of already flattened the box, so that's vexing. I think I might still have the box, though, so I can unflatten it. But whatever. Yeah. But anyway, I thought we'd give it a sporting try before I just straight up say this thing is crap, I'm sending it back. I thought we'd give it a sporting try because when I was talking in the exclusive chat room, Sai was just like, just send it back, man. I'm like, well, I want the card. I do want to keep this, so I'm willing to put in a little bit of time just to see if I can resolve whatever problem it has. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. So you will be drinking alone today. I'm not alone. I've got you guys. Right? Are you guys my friends? Don't answer that question. It's weird. Anyway. Unflatten it and blame the courier. Yeah, real. Okay. So. I'm going to get this card in a minute and we'll start tinkering with it. But also just coming up later on as well is I'm working on this ROG gaming laptop. And I've got two of them. One of them's a donor and one of them's the one to actually repair. This is the state of the motherboard for the donor. I'll just bring this under the microscope just so you can see. you guys are getting spoilers for probably an upcoming video, but just like, brother, ew. Brother, what is that? Brother, ew. Just, what happened here, man? So yeah, absolutely heinous. Absolutely heinous. Just, what the hell happened here, man? So yeah. And the other board also had soldering crimes on it. So I believe the customers have just taken it to some other shop first, and the other shop is, I don't know what they thought they were doing. It's got a main rail short, and it's not a high side short. It's probably a dead capacitor. Like, I haven't injected to double check on that yet, but it looks like it's probably going to be a dead capacitor. And I'm like, what were you guys doing? This is probably an easy one. Just, yeah, I think they just couldn't see the woods for the trees, maybe. But we'll see. I might go to inject voltage on both of them and find that there is indeed a complete rabbit hole there, and these are still a no fix. But my initial reaction is just like, you know. So yes. So in the meantime, I'm waiting for my ultrasonic to clean up, and I'm just going to ultrasonic that gross board first. So yeah. Joseph Winterholz, thanks for the $50. I don't post much, but I've been watching for a few years now. Love your work. Careful with happy clicking. It'll cost you a month's pay. Real. Thanks very much for the $50. I greatly appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Thanks a lot. All right. Being used as a flood barrier. I think a lot of that is just a lot of flux waste. Ugh. I think a lot of this is just a lot of flux waste that has just been left on the board for months. Because this one hasn't been looked at for a very long time. And yeah. But like I said, it's got a really easy, obvious main rail short. So yeah, I don't know. But like I said, it gets stranger though. Let me get the other board. Where is the other? Oh, it's right here. The other motherboard from the other one, I've already started working on this one, but again, main rail short. Again, it's not a high side short. I don't think so. Oh, I haven't checked for a high side short yet. I need to do that in a minute. But yeah, I'm 99% certain it's not a high side short. But this capacitor here just weirdly had just been soldered back on with some massive solder blobs. But this is at the DC in jack. There's no short circuit there. So like I saw that and I'm just like, what was your plan? Whoever was looking at this, what was your plan? Like, the DC in MOSFETs are shot on this one, but they're not shorted to ground. So, but then the main rail starts there, so maybe they thought that was dead, but I don't know. Whoever was working on these didn't really know what they were doing. And they were clearly kind of making random stabs in the dark and have just left a massive mess behind. So yeah, at the moment I've kind of got a double duty job of cleaning up the mess just so I can see what the actual problem is with the laptops. So yeah, odd. So yeah, I'm going to carry on having a look at these because I started recording a video about these and I want to carry on because I want to at least just find out if there's actually something repairable here. I guess I'm just going to quickly take this motherboard out because, like I said, I want to lob it in the ultrasonic and that is currently warming up. So I'll quickly just carry on taking this apart. And then, are you supposed to fix both? No. The objective is to get one working laptop. But because this has a very clear because this one has a very clear main rail short, I do want to have a look at it to see if this motherboard is actually fixable. Because you know, like I want to steal the DC in MOSFETs from it to fix this one. However, I'm not going to steal the DC in MOSFETs from this one if it's actually repairable. So yeah, I kind of want to find out if there's mileage in that first. So yeah, however, they are two different ones. This one's an Intel, I think that's an Intel actually, and the other one's AMD. Extremely similar apart from that. Oh no, that's an AMD as well. Yeah, I think they're just like a generation apart. What are you? What are you? Someone Google these numbers for me. Can we get non-reflection view? No, we cannot. YM3 700C4. Someone take a screenshot of that and tell me what that is. 3, 2, 1. And then the other one is one of them. Any numbers down there? That was 2019. And whatever the hell that is. 3700U. Is it that simple? Is it just a 3700U? Yeah, fair enough. And then we've got whatever that is. So, yeah, I think this one's so, yeah, that one sounds like Ryzen 3000N and this one's Ryzen 5000. So it sounds like they're just like a generation apart. The motherboards are not identical, but they're extremely similar. So I can, oh yeah, I was taking this one out. So yeah, I'm gonna be stealing. I will probably steal parts from this one to fix the newer one. But if this one is salvageable, then it's worth saving. But also, because of just the sheer mess, I'm like, that's a rabbit hole. So like, I'm not going to be trying very hard. I'm gonna stab current into it, see what gets hot, and whatever. But yes, let me get this motherboard out, and then I'm going to go and get that. I'm going to get the PC with this 6700 in it. Oh, heat damage. Someone's been doing soldering without taking the motherboard out. Oh, there's a capacitor missing there. Oh, okay. Oh god, the plot thickens. I need to record a quick segment in a moment, which I might be doing that on and off through this stream. I might just pause for a moment, record a section of the video, and then come back to you guys, because I've just spotted something else that explains things. Let's get this out first. Alright. Alright, the back of this one looks fine. Okay. So what I've just spotted is we're missing a capacitor here. So this board, you remember I said that on this one, this capacitor was not soldered on properly? That must have come from this donor board already. So maybe that capacitor had also exploded? Who knows? I'm going to quickly just record a bit about that, just because that helps me add context in the video. Right, I've just been taking this board out of the chassis. This is the grotty board, and I noticed next to the DC jack, this bit here, look what's missing from it. We've got a big electrolytic capacitor missing from the board. So that explains why we have that random capacitor that wasn't soldered on properly. It's already been taken from this one as a donor board. So whether there was actually an exploded capacitor on there previously or not, we don't know. But that's missing from this board. The board will work without it, so we can carry on diagnosing this one anyway, but it's worth noting that someone has already started robbing parts from this board. And stop recording. There we go. Okay. This is going to be a nightmare to edit because I'm going to have like 10 different takes of bits and pieces, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to crack open a cold one and read the chat. Hello, Muerto, by the way. Ooh, that's what I want right now. Let's see. The other one's a 4800H. Okay, yeah, that's not too shabby either. So yeah, both worth fixing. Cool. Thanks for looking up those CPUs. That's good to know. So yeah, they're about a generation apart then, which tallies. So yeah. Greetings, PC plebs. We're not just PC plebs now. We have the Gabe Cube coming. We've got 8 GB of VRAM, PC plebs. Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad. Okay, right, I'm going to clear all of this out of the way, and I'm just going to go and see what temperature the ultrasonic is up to, and then we're going to get the graphics card and start looking at that. Because I think the graphics card is going to be a bust, so I kind of want to get on with it. Let me just lob all of these screws into my pot of screws. Because I'm taking apart 2 different laptops here, I'm accumulating a very large number of screws very quickly. Alright. This is the old one, so let's put the old motherboard there. And the old battery there. And I'm going to go and put this on the sideboard. There's the cooler. Right, I'm just going to quickly check on the ultrasonic. Alright, that's up to 31 degrees, so it's still got a little bit to go. Okay, right, let me get this graphics card that we're looking at. Push you well out of the way. And I'm probably going to have to switch the views somehow. Let me just put together a quick and dirty overview, because none of these auxiliary, the multimeter cam and the microscope ain't a lot of use when we're looking at a PC. Full... let's see. Blair. Combo. Actually, I should copy paste tile. Hold on. Remove. Duplicate. Combo. There we go. Now we don't lose everything. Right, face cam. Let's make you a bit smaller. I'm not going to bother resizing it. Then microscope turn off. Multimeter turn off. And bench cam embiggen. There we go. Right. I'm going to go get a tower. Alright. Let's lift up the bench cam. And let's bring you up as well. Let's go for standing. Okay. Good. Right. Let's see. Right. What happened to the B580 video? It's almost done. I didn't get it done in time this week. Because there's a lot of B-roll footage needed for it, it's just the editing is taking a lot longer. I discovered this week that, well, I should have known this already, but I was reminded this week that doing a video that involves a lot of B-roll takes a lot longer. That's the wrong camera. So yeah, the only thing is, all of the A-roll footage, that was all done like 10 days ago. And like the actual, all of the voiceover recording and stuff, I was done with that last Sunday. I recorded it in like one take. It's just editing and editing in all of the B-roll footage over the top of it, because it's a 25-minute video of me talking to the camera. I need B-roll to show you what I'm talking about. And yeah, getting capture from various games that I'm showing off and stuff like that just took a lot longer than expected. So yeah, that's why the B580 video isn't here yet, but we're almost there, almost there. So yeah. Let's see. Lingenberry said, I'm not sad. 8 gig on the GameCube might push developers to actually optimize their code. I wouldn't hold your breath. I wouldn't hold your breath. And, like, I would forgive it for being 8 gigs. I'm not going to hold that over the top of the computer because everyone will shout at me. I would forgive it for being 8 gigs, were it not for the fact that it's going to cost, like, $700. The GameCube. Like, the Steam machine, you know, like, if anyone thinks it's going to be any less than $600, you're dreaming. And the problem is at that price, with 8 gigs of VRAM, it's DOA. Just, what are you doing? You know, and this is the thing with, all the things they announce is just, we need to know the price, because if they came out and they were really aggressively priced, like the Steam Deck, that was really aggressively priced. So we didn't mind that it wasn't really that fast and the specs weren't that impressive because it was so aggressively priced that you could immediately forgive all of that. But the issue is that the Steam machine and the Steam frame, they've got enough tech packed into them that they're not going to. That I can't see a world where they're going to be cheap, and some of the specs on that just don't justify that kind of price tag. So yeah. When's Caradog back? Next week. Next week. So yes. All right. Does it have B580 roll? Let's see. Too expensive. Using current gen at best tech and lacking VRAM. Yeah. I like everything about it, but like I said, I just don't think the price is going to justify it. I'm going to carry on plugging this in. Right. So I'm going to fire this up and just show you what problem we're having first. And then I think the plan is going to be to move the graphics card to a different computer, because I haven't tried that yet. I haven't tried a lot of things on this yet, to be honest. I just haven't had the time. Need a keyboard. Keyboard. Is the GPU buy on eBay the riskiest part of buying used parts? I mean, if this thing is a lemon, which I think it probably is, to be honest, it'll be the first time I've bought a lemon graphics card on eBay. I wouldn't say they're that common. I mean, graphics cards are high risk because they're high price. You know, this is a 6800 XT, and I think I paid $260 for it, which is a good price. But yeah, right. Let's turn this thing on. Power. It's on, and I'm going to spam straight into BIOS first. Let's see, HDMI capture. Right, so firstly, and then whoop. Right, so firstly, observe. So I don't know how well it's coming across on stream, but can you see how the mouse looks jittery? And if we go, let's go into settings. Yeah, can you see how laggy that is? You can see it drawing frames. See how the menu just takes a moment to appear? And so now let's actually like reboot and let it go into Windows, and you'll see what I mean there as well. Oh, any updates on the MacBook from last week? Yeah, so I tried a different display cable, still didn't get any display output from it. So I think the display is probably knackered as well, or the display mux chip is knackered. But after talking to the customer, we have agreed that there is probably enough wrong with it that it's not worth the fix, because there is a laundry list of things that it could be, and we're going to have to spend a lot of time and money to find out. And we're doing all of that for a laptop that is 7 years old at this point. So we're going for data recovery on it, basically. So yeah. All right, so now we're in Windows. Oh, I don't believe it. Has it come good? Oh, it's fine. It's come good. Interesting. Okay, well, we're learning things. That came good almost right away. Let's see. I'm going to quickly plug in my toolkit drive and just get it to run like superposition or something like that, because I haven't done that with it yet. Stand by. Where is my SSD? It's there. I need a cable for my SSD. Increase mouse speed in UEFI. That doesn't stop it from jittering. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... I was going to show the BIOS briefly, but in Windows it's very, very obvious, and now it's not doing it. Something best repair channel on YouTube. Right. God damn it! I can't see a thing here. I need a projector. There we go. Project. Now I have a full screen view. Let's see. Right. New toolkit. I think I've got something in here. There we go. There's superposition. And also, already downloaded on here, we've got GPU-Z. So I'll just quickly push that out onto the desktop. So if we fire up GPU-Z, we can just validate that things look correct in there as well. I don't believe it. Yeah, it's working just fine. Oh, however, what's that? 1.1. We're going to get it. We're going to get superposition running, so it's actually under load, and see if that jumps up. I need chat. There we go. Ah, damn it. Hecking me dropping the keyboard into the computer isn't helpful either. Let's launch that again because I accidentally closed it. Was this GPU series used for mining? Possibly. I don't think it's an X mining card though. Because for starters, it's in pristine condition. It just, yeah, it doesn't seem like an X. It doesn't seem like an X mining card to me. What does that say? Hold on. An error code. Oh, retry. Yeah, the drive hasn't disconnected. Okay, there we go. Right. It's going to be annoying if I need to re-download superposition. Okay, let's see. Nick Smith, thanks for the tenner. Been watching your back catalogue lately. You've come a long way since then. Thought you'd give it a bit back. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot, Nick. I greatly appreciate it. My superposition installer is buggered. Okay, abort. Let's see if my Heaven installer is also wrecked. That's still superposition. Heaven. Doesn't need to be much. I just need to load down the graphics card to see if the PCI laning changes. Is that stuttery? Nope, that's smooth as silk. Yeah, okay. Right. Rolling back a little bit. Do I have any experience with Linux? No. In short, I am planning to do some. I'm planning to do some Linux testing at some point. I want to do a Linux challenge, but I haven't done anything yet. Like I touch Linux now and then because it's kind of obligatory. But I wouldn't say I'm knowledgeable with Linux. I know just enough to blunder my way through it, basically. I don't want full screen, and let's just run that at 720p. May as well crank the anti-aliasing. There we go. Yeah, Amsterdam, I know. However, I want to run a benchmark that I'm familiar with. All right. Right, so that is now running. I'm now going to close and reopen GPU-Z, which I wouldn't be able to do if it was also trying to do rendering. It's almost like I actually have a clue what I'm doing, so please don't question me. Right, so what does this mean now, where it's PCI 16 for at 16 1.1? What does this mean where it says PCI Express X16 1.1? I'm trying to discern if that is the card not running at full bus speed or not. It's only running at 1.1 gen. Yeah, okay, so this is PCI Express Gen 1.1 X16. So yeah, that would make sense, yeah. Yeah. So this would tap that, because this is a symptom that we can actually see here now. Interesting. Kind of whack that it's not having any issues if it's sitting at PCI Express 1.1. Do we get a is that the bandwidth through the, that's memory bandwidth, yeah. No, we don't get a bus bandwidth here, I don't think, do we? Okay, that's fine. Mining BIOS, yeah, I'm still not writing. I said I don't think it's been used for mining, but I'm not writing that off. So yeah, okay. Still plenty fast for something like Heaven. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, back up the BIOS. Yeah, I think we're going to try a BIOS update on this. I think that's what we're going to do. Firstly, though, I'm just going to shut it all down, reseat the graphics card, and turn it on again to see if it changes. Because when I was looking at it yesterday, I'm sure it said something other than 1.1. I'm sure it was showing 4 there. So I just want to make sure that reading that we're getting, I want to see if that's reproducible before I actually start changing things. Whacked up settings in BIOS? Nah, BIOS is at defaults. So yeah. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to reseat the thing now. Let's go back to. Whoop. It's running a PCI 4 X16. How do you know that, Infinite? Because it says X16 1.1. It said X16 4.0 at X16 1.1. So, like, yeah, what does that mean? That's what I'm questioning. I don't tinker with I don't usually have to dig into this kind of stuff. So, yeah. You have the same thing showing for your GPU? Yeah, okay. I have a suspicion that the card has come good. Now we've actually started a live stream about it. And I think this might be the best repair channel on YouTube because I looked at it and it fixed itself. Whoop. Right. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to adjust this connector here. So while the only thing I have done with this thing so far was I wanted to make sure that it's got a BIOS selector switch and it's on the back, which is extremely annoying because that's just where someone can fiddle with it. And I put a jumper on the BIOS switch just to make sure. My intention was to jumper it in the overclock position to make sure that my end customer wouldn't be able to accidentally nerf the speed of the card. However, because because there's a non-zero chance that we're going to try and BIOS flash this, I'm going to put the selector switch back in. There we go. Right, that selector switch is engaged now. So for reference, when the switch is in the in position or on, that's the overclock setting, and out is the non-overclock profile. And I have verified that that does actually work as well. All right, so see what hardware info tells it. Oh yeah, I was planning on doing that as well, because hardware info will also tell us whether there's any kind of weird power limits in place. So let's see if it's actually going to do the thing first. Another thing that is on my mind as well is one thing I noticed is the seller page for this, the eBay sales page. It said very clearly in the description, make sure to use a support bracket with this graphics card. And I'm wondering if this card has got dodgy connections on the PCI Express edge connector, and when the card sags, it doesn't work properly. And now I've got the computer laying down and it's propped up in a bench testing like this. That's why it's just suddenly decided to work. So that's another possibility. Right. Plug that in. Power on. Yeah, micro cracks maybe. That's kind of one of the possibilities that I'm thinking of. And obviously, if we run into that situation, then that's a case of, cool, we're sending this back to the seller, but I need to be able to prove it. Well, actually, I probably don't need to be able to prove it, but when I start a fight, I kind of want ammunition. That's a capture error. Come on. Yeah, I don't think that's the graphics card doing that. I think that's just a capture error. I'll try reactivating the thing again. Maybe not. Let's let it start up and then we'll plug the HDMI cable back in. Replug cable. Yeah, I'll wait for it to get to Windows before I do that. We gonna get anything? Let's replug the cable now. Huh. Well, that's a new symptom. Oh, there it goes. See, look how jittery that spinner is. That's what I'm talking about. Look how jittery the spinner is. The computer's really upset now. Have we got a mouse? No, the mouse is not working. Hopefully it will get through to desktop, because then we can at least just like fire up GPU-Z again and just see if it shows anything interesting. Wow. It hasn't just straight up crashed on me before until now. I'll reset the computer. Yeah, like if it's going to start doing all of that, then yeah. I don't like this green screen we're getting either. I thought that was a capture error at first, but I'm having doubts now. If it can get through... Okay, right, now we're through to the desktop. I'm going to replug the HDMI cable again. Oh, yeah, we're just kind of green now. Yeah, okay, right. I think that kind of settles this. What does it say now? See, now it says we're at PCI Express 4X. However, also it's it's not happy. It's not happy at all. Yeah, okay. Okay, well that's pretty clear cut right there, I would say. Push the card up and I'm going to nudge it. Nudging the card. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Hold on. Go away. I'm just going to just do a bit of that. Nope. Let's refresh. No. Okay. I think that's pretty terminal, if I'm honest. Yeah, yeah. Switch back to the other BIOS. Yep. Okay. Switching back to the other BIOS. So switch and reset. Yeah, no, same thing. I don't think the Windows is upset now. I don't think flashing the BIOS is going to help it at this point because there's no reason for it to have a wacky BIOS on both profiles. And when it was kind of sort of working in on the demo bench, I did actually check, and I actually have screenshots of the two BIOS profiles. Hold on, let me bring them up. Here we go. Zoom. Enhance. Alright, so this is when I was looking at it the other day, and we had PCI Express X16 at Gen 4. This was the non-overclock profile at 1815 megahertz. And then this was the other BIOS, again, connected at X16 Gen 4. And the overclock profile was 1925. So those were the two different BIOSes. So it was giving two clear readings on that. So to me, that suggests that this isn't a BIOS issue at this point. So, yeah. Try a new BIOS anyways. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling... I don't know if I feel like doing a BIOS flash on it now that we've just seen what we've just seen, because what's it looking like now? It's looking like Windows is upset. Cool. Okay, just restart. We've still got weird green on the screen. I think it's actually turbo dead this time. Just checking that everything is plugged in properly. Oh yeah, I need to try it in another machine as well. Yeah, that's the other thing I should try doing, is just actually plugging it into another PC. So yeah. Put a load on the GPU. I mean, I'll try that, but like, look at what we're seeing, though. Does this look like a functional graphics card to you? You know? That's a non-XT. Oh, yeah. I can't remember if I was expecting an XT or not. I think when I was... Let me just bring up eBay. Purchase history. Oh, yeah, no. It was sold as a non-XT. I misspoke. So, yeah. The price on it is a little bit mid for a non-XT, but it's fine. It's still fine. So, yeah. All right. Okay, the screen is cleared up, but the mouse cursor is still jittery. Let's see what we're getting now. And our survey says... X16 Gen 4. And we're on the non-overclock profile. Okay, so right now it's jittery. So you can see that that's not moving around properly. What happens if I try and start Heaven now? Presumably it's going to wet the bed. But I'm curious as to what the reported frame rate will be. It's garbage. Okay. Yeah. See what Task Manager shows, but yeah. And Task Manager says... Task Manager says that. That doesn't really tell me much, to be honest. Utilization is 100%, but like... yeah. I don't know that there's a lot to learn here, to be honest. I think what we've got is just a knackered graphics card. But yeah, okay, check the Sensors tab. Yep, alright. Yeah, see, our clock is up. It's clocked up. Oh, memory clock. Look at that, 200 megahertz. There it is. Oh, did you see that GPU clock crash then? What's going on with that? Tom, thank you very much for the 20 quid. Great info and advice. Much appreciated. I mean, we're kind of just doing a bit of an autopsy here, but make of this what you will, at least. That does tell us more, doesn't it? So what are we actually seeing here? We're seeing that the memory is not clocking up. And the GPU is kind of stuttering here and there, but like that might just be the GPU stalling because it's waiting on memory. This looks to me like the memory is gubbed. Dead fans? No, the GPU is at 50 degrees. That's why the fans aren't spinning. You don't need fan speed when your GPU is at 57 degrees hotspot. So yeah. Okay. GPU draw low. Yeah, the GPU, the power draw is low because it's not doing anything. That's a symptom. But yeah, we don't really care about the power draw because it's running at 10 FPS. It's the memory clock being in the toilet that's the actual problem. You think it's a core issue? What makes you say that, though? I mean, the core stutters now and then. Like, just then it dropped. You can see now and then the core drops to 0 and then jumps back up. Do you think it's doing that, like, really fast? rapidly fluctuating. That would tally. Stick afterburner on it. Yeah. Oh, there, look. It just came good. Bam. Wild. Look at that. And now it's fine. Oh, you couldn't hope for a better demonstration. It literally just did it in front of us. What on earth does that mean? The card made a little bit of noise when it did that, but that's just the VRM suddenly banging onto 150 watts instead of 40. So yeah. Yeah, do you guys reckon it was just throttled for power? Okay. Yeah, so the question is... yeah. Right, so I'm not... The problem is, in order to do basically anything else, we kind of really need to take the card apart and have a look at it. However, the problem is that this still has its warranty stickers on it, and I'm not starting a fight on eBay after I've taken the card apart, because even though eBay heavily favors the buyer, if they turn around and be like, well, no, you've taken it apart, that actually provides them with some ammunition. So I'm not taking the card apart. All right. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done here. It is a cold start bug, yeah. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, I'm giving up on this. I don't think there's anything more to learn. We saw some very strange symptoms, but I think this is kind of what I was seeing on the demo bench. However, the problem is that I was leaving it to run and then I was walking away from it for half an hour and then coming back again. So I didn't see it doing anything. However, at that point, we literally just watched it chuntering along and then just suddenly click into high power mode. So we kind of seem very clear cut that there's some kind of cold start issue there. And that is a rabbit hole that I have zero interest in working into. So yeah. Wouldn't trust the card, certainly wouldn't. Yeah, well exactly. I can't put it in a customer PC. If I can't put this in a PC and sell it, then it's no good to me. So yeah. Yep, we're out. Restart and retest. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'll just push the reset button. Yeah, folks are saying dry paste. It's not the paste. It's not overheating. It's not a heat problem. Because remember, the card was sitting at 57 degrees, drawing 40 watts. So, yeah. And are we still good? It feels correct. I don't like the green screen that we're getting on boot, but, like, who knows what that is. Yeah, it's still fine. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Dry joint, something that comes good when it warms up. I'm out of here. Yeah. Well, I'm not. It's not the end of the stream, but I'm done playing with this thing, I think. That is enough for me to be like, this is a dead end. So to answer the title of the stream, yes, I've got a lemon. So, yeah. Okay. Let's shut that down. Unfortunate. Bring out the air fryer. Real. Alright. Unfortunate. Time to make lemonade. Real. Whoop. This is an example where 16 gigs of VRAM and the card still sucks. I mean, the card sucks because it's broken, not because it's got 16 gigs of VRAM, you know. Like, that's kind of nothing to do with it. Right. Alright, out you come then. Oh, that's a shame. It's a nice card. But yeah. Alright. Let's put that to one side. I'm going to get this out the way, and I guess I'm going to unflatten a box. And I suppose we'll get the gaming laptops back out. Right. Box. Ah, okay. Huzzah, I think we're good. We can fix it. We can fix it, chat. Welcome to box assembly stream, folks. Have I got the foam? Oh, I don't think I've got the foam. I've thrown out the foam. God damn it. I'll have to find some other foam. Alright. They're getting it back wrapped in bubble wrap. They're lucky they're going to get the box back. But yeah, that fault is pretty clear cut, so whatever. Whoop. Alright. I never throw out anything on eBay until I'm satisfied with it. Yeah, I mean, normally you don't even get the original box, but as I say, this is the first time I've bought a second-hand graphics card and it's been done. So, yeah, this is only the first time it's been a problem. Right, I'm going to have a quick look at the ultrasonic and see if it's up to temperature. It is. Okay, so this guy's going in the ultrasonic cleaner. Let's take some bits off of it for pre-cleaning. Yeah, don't think I'm going to bother taking the Wi-Fi card off. Oh, we'll take that battery out though. That needs to go. Right, anything else needs to come off of this? I don't think so. Cool. Right, I'm going to throw this in the ultrasonic, and then we're going to do some power injection on the other one and find out where the short circuit on it is. Back in a sec, folks. All right, blub, blub, blub. Okay, let's do something a bit more fun. That's the wrong camera. I'll straighten it anyway. Ugh. There we go. Actually, I'm just going to go back to the tile view. Can't you throw it from here? Oh. In the actual video, I'll probably cut in that one clip of me throwing the motherboard because I want to make that a running gag. Okay, so right, this board. Let's see. Let's put it around this way because that's the way in the laptop it is. Microscope. So on this one, I'm just going to double check that the short is what it looks like. So I fixed... Where are we? There we go. So I've resoldered that capacitor because that had some massive fat-ass blobs on it. The DC in MOSFETs are shot, so those need to be replaced at some point. I'm going to lower the microphone. So these guys need to be changed, but these don't have a path to ground, so those are not the source of our short circuit. So now I want to check VCore to see if VCore, just to make sure that we don't have a high side short. I'm fairly certain we don't, but I'm going to double check. Okay, right. Reading chat. Okay. Right. Right, I'm going to quickly record this section, so let's hit start recording. I'll line that up there so there's context for when I cut to this section in the video. Right, I've thrown the grotty motherboard into the ultrasonic cleaner for naughty motherboards. Pause to play the clip. And now I want to do some power injection on this one to find out where the actual short circuit is. But before we do that, I'm just going to double check that everything is what it looks like initially. So firstly, here is our main rail input capacitor. So you can see that this big fat trace here, that is going up to the inputs for all of these MOSFETs for our CPU power supply. So firstly, if we measure this guy, we will see that it is shorted to ground. Nice deep short there. 0.29, 0.3, something like that. And now let's move up to these capacitors, which are on the CPU vCore itself, the output. And we get 13 ohms. So that's the low resistance through the CPU. That's not a short. So there's no high side short into the CPU. And now if we check, here's the MOSFETs that go up to GPU vCore. There's our GPU. So for these guys, once again, we've got some input capacitors here. There's our short circuit. That should be true ground. Basically the same thing. And if we go up past the MOSFETs to the output capacitors, we get 0.83. So again, this is extremely low. It's less than an ohm, but that's normal through a GPU. GPUs are always like less than an ohm. But 0.8 is a lot higher than 0.2. So we don't have a high side short to the GPU either. Cool. All right, so in that case now, we want to do power injection. I'm going to pause for a sec. All right. Good. I just had the beeper go. I'm going to turn the board. I'm going to flip the board in the ultrasonic. It's better. I don't know if the ultrasonic is going to be able to shift all of that. Oh, all right. Going back to your dying. Bye, Sai. Feel better soon, I guess. Right. I need to do, so now I need to do the bit where I talk about the injection checklist. I need to actually write this checklist properly. Because I kind of make it up as I go along every time I'm actually doing the video. So, I'm just going to make it up again. So let's do it. Right, so I want to inject power on this motherboard. So that means we've got to go through the injection checklist. And this checklist is a bit fast and loose, but, you know, it's there to, well, it's there as an example to the very kind of people who have already attempted repairs on this board, where the repairs that have been attempted on this board and the other one seem very aimless, and they seem like the attempts of someone who has watched repair but doesn't fully understand what they're doing and will try random things without really understanding what they're doing or why. That's why we do this checklist. So, why do I want to inject power? Well, we have a short circuit on the motherboard and I don't know where it is. Power injection is a method of finding the short circuit. Cool. So far so good. Do I know where I'm going to inject power? Yes, I'm going to inject power onto the main rail. Why am I going to inject power there? I'm going to inject power on the main rail because that is reading less than an ohm and it should not read less than an ohm. Cool. If I inject power onto the main rail, could something else be damaged by it? Okay, well, what else could be damaged? The CPU could be damaged. Well, in this case, no. We've checked for a high side short, and it's not that. What about a GPU? All right, we've checked for a high side short going into the GPU. It's not that, so that's fine. What about the secondary rails, like the 5 volt or 3.3 volt rail? I haven't checked those. Okay, let's find those. So, to find the other rails, we want to check all of the other inductors on the board. So all of the grey squares. We're going to measure all of these and check if any of those are reading shorted. Yes, Dodgy, I did click record again. It's good that you reminded me because sometimes I forget and it's extremely annoying. I have legitimately had to unsolder things again because I didn't hit record. So, yeah. Alright. Huh. So I'm going to put my black probe on a ground, and I'm just going to go around. Oh, we don't need the microscope for this. Let's just zoom in slightly. That's the wrong one. Oh no, that should be slightly zoomed. There we go, that's the one I was looking for. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so I'll put my black probe on just a ground point up in the top left here. And I'm just going to go around and just stab all of the inductors that I can see. So let's do this one. I don't necessarily know what any of these inductors are without looking carefully, but I don't really care. I just want to know if any of them are shorted, because none of them should be 0. So that one's fine as well. This one looks like a secondary rail. This might be mem core. 70 ohms. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is all V-core stuff. We checked these. We'll check this one over here. Secondary rail. That's fine. Okay. Anything over here? Let's check this guy here. 60 ohms. 100 kilo ohms. That's all fine. There's a tiny little boy there. That's probably going to be low. Nope. 55 kilo ohms. That's all fine as well. Okay. Well, that's all of the inductors on the board. I don't think there's anything on the back that I missed. No. Okay. So, the 5 and 3.3 volt rails are probably these guys here, in all probability, because they are usually about this kind of size. They're usually directly next to each other, and they usually look identical. And these are very similar. You can see we've got two very similarly sized inductors with MOSFETs and capacitors next door to them. So those are probably our 5 and 3.3 volt rails. If not, it could be these guys. But none of them are reading 0. So if we inject power onto the main power rail, we can be fairly confident that it's not going to go through into a secondary rail and damage it. So far, so good. So I think we're ready to do power injection in that case. So we know why we're injecting, where we're injecting, and we know that it is safe to inject. So let's turn on the power supply. Oh, now I've got to find my power supply cables. However, first I'm going to pause and I'm going to rescue that board because the ultrasonic has beeped again. Okay. Oops. Okay. Right, that is not perfect, but it's a lot better. Probably enough for me to actually do some diagnostics on now. I'm going to quickly drown this in alcohol and then spray it down again just to drive the water out. So give me just a couple of moments, folks. Alcohol? Yep, that's alcohol. We'll just drown this guy. Blob, blob, blob. Now I'm just going to go and blow all of that alcohol off with the air duster again. So that'll just blow it all through, just drive all the moisture off. Alright, that's not super dry, but it's probably good enough to carry on with our diagnostics. Damn, I miss... one of the great things about doing this in summer is you can just go and stick it on the wall outside in the sun, and it will just bake it dry. I really need to get just like a little countertop oven, because yeah, all of the pros, they will then after cleaning the board like I've just done, they'll stick it in an oven at like you know, like 70 degrees C for half an hour kind of thing, which just, it's not baking the board, it's just heating it to drive all the moisture out of it. So yeah. Okay. Been busy in the shop? Yeah, it's very busy. Always busy. That's why I never have time for anything. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly finish cleaning this up. So let's come back into the thing. All right. I'm going to have to do a lot of chopping around here. I'm going to stop the recording and then start so we have a new take, and then I can switch the order of things around. Wonder what would happen if you use alcohol in an ultrasonic cleaner. Not much, because there was actually a really good example of that when I was recording before the show, where I demonstrated the fact that alcohol is actually not a very good cleaning agent. It's nice, but it's not very good at cleaning at all. It's good for just scrubbing and thinning certain things down, but if you actually want to shift dirt, it's really bad at that. So yeah. Right, here's our grotty board. I've just gotten this out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and it's shifted most of the grot, but there's still a fair bit around here. So I'm going to attack this with some. I'm going to attack this with some glass cleaner and the toothbrush just to try and clean the last of that up, and then we'll power inject this and see if we can figure out what's actually wrong with it. So let's do a little bit of cleaning. There's still quite a lot there, if I'm honest. I'm kind of tempted just to lob it straight back in the ultrasonic, but I don't like leaving them in there for a long time. Any folks in the chat, Lead Farmer, have you know, what's your ultrasonic setup? Like, would you just throw this straight back in the ultrasonic for another 10 minutes or something? I don't like baking them in, or I don't like boiling stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner, but if it needs more time, it needs more time. Oh, this is not... The glass cleaner does not move the flux. This is mostly just ancient flux. Yeah, no, that's not working at all. Okay, this is the time where the alcohol will actually help it a lot. Drown it. Needs a good scrub. Delicious. There we go. That's better. Right, I'm going to rinse that. All of the alcohol. So it's dripping. And I'm going to go attack it with the air duster again. There we go. Likely plumber's flux. It could be. It could have been plumber's flux. All right. Now we can really see what we're up against here. So this guy that's been strong-armed off of the board, that's going to need tidying up. But, and also... this guy has been messed with as well. We're missing 2 input capacitors, and this guy's been messed with and needs to be reflowed. So let's take some fresh measurements again. Chip next to the coil is done. What, this guy, you reckon? Right. Right, so there's our main rail short. And it will also appear here, which is the input. However, the output... Oh no, how's a sec? 0.47. Don't think that's what I saw earlier on. 0.46. That's too low. It is different to the main rail, but it's extremely low. So yeah, that looks a bit rough. This looks like it's GPU related though. What do we think? I'm going to take this guy off the board, and I'm going to take this guy off the board, and just see what state it's in. We need to make a decision as to if we're going to bother pursuing this board, or just say, this board is done. Sod this board, we're robbing it for parts. It looks like it's in pretty dire condition. The depressing thing is, I think it was probably savable, but someone has butchered it. So yeah. Okay, right. I'm going to laser this stuff off. Here comes the hot air. That's not how solder works, but okay. Okay. Kind of looks alright. I'll just boil this anyway, I guess. That guy doesn't want to budge. I'm going to put some flux on that just to see if it starts moving. Yeah, the tantalum's not going to like this. I think I'm going to have to bail on this because we're just putting too much heat into this area. Okay. That solder has gone molten. It's just not moving the way I want it to, but we've boiled the area. Come on. Someone was trying to get this off and having a terrible time. I think someone tried to remove this and failed. Okay. That's enough hot air torture. What do you think of these multi-voltage PSU adapters? No. No, I don't like them. Conceptually, they're fine, but the ones that you buy are always cheap and terrible and fail. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the soldering iron, and I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. I'm just going to flow a little bit of fresh solder on there just to mend these joins, and then I'm going to put this stuff back on and just see where we're at. Where's my wick? That. Try and tidy these pads up and get the gunk off of them. Oh, weak pad there. There we go, that's enough. Whoops. Okay, so we can see there's no disasters there. Yes, cyanoacrylate fumes are horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Can confirm. Alright, I'm going to put this guy back on the board now. So I want to put just a touch of fresh solder on there. Oh yeah, let's quickly tidy up these pads. God knows what's going on with all of this, but whatever. I'm going to wick these as well, just because I don't know what the hell solder was being used here. Something atrocious. I'm fairly certain that we're wasting our time here, but let's just tidy up the crimes and then just see where we're at. Alright, and the actual inductor. That's not going to work. Because this is a coil of wire, it gets extremely hot. Okay, that's flat. That'll do. Schlorp. Right, solder blob. I think whoever was working on this, their tools were just nowhere near strong enough to be working on a gaming laptop either. Someone was trying to hot air stuff off here and just didn't have enough power. Which probably means they were using a really terrible hot air station. Because, like, my hot air station is only a 650 watt. Alright, that's not great, but it's on. We just grab you. It's fine, that doesn't matter. Okay. That's not the best in the world, but it's actually soldered to the board now, which is more than it was before. Okay. And let's just touch all of these pads now. Okay. That'll do. I don't want very much solder there. We only need a tiny amount. So I've been really sparing. Just enough that there is actually solder there. Now we'll just smear some flux across all of that. And put this guy down. Should be gonna. That should be good enough. It should move into position where when it starts flowing. It's getting that. I'm not filled with confidence right now. There we go. Okay. I don't like the bottom right pads. Let's press it down. Okay, I'll run the soldering iron around that just to clean up. There we go. Yeah, I think it actually needs to move left a little bit, if anything, but it's on. That's good enough. Oh yeah, well spotted. That blob doesn't matter because they're connected on that side anyway, but we'll just, again, we're tidying up crimes here, so we'll try and make good on things. Get out. Okay, fine. Blah. Die. Okay, that bridge is still there, but I don't care. Those things are connected together anyway. Right. Okay, it's not pretty, but it's better than it was. So we're missing some input caps here, but we don't need those to find out if the board works. So let's just check what our short circuit status looks like now. I think the CPU is dead because I didn't like the resistance we were seeing on it. So I don't know why I spent a lot of time then, actually, because, yeah. Right, so there's our main rail short. 0.5. And 1.25, okay. Our CPU has gone up in resistance after doing everything, but also, like, that seems too low. 1.2 ohms on the CPU feels too low to me. If anyone else knows what a Ryzen 3700 should be at, 3700U, then do speak up, but I think it should be higher than that. But whatever. Let's stab it with some power and find out if we've got a dead cap on it. Whoop. Yes, I'm still using the quick hot air station. Question, is that discoloration normal or something else? Yeah, there's a lot of heat on the board will get discolored just through heat. So that's kind of normal. You don't really want to see it, but yeah, it's reasonably normal. Right, I'm going to quickly zap around and check, but do our pre-checks again. So let's just check our other inductors. So our mem core over here is 47. Yeah, that's fine. These guys, 170, 120K, 600 ohms, 6K. Anyone else? I think that's about it. Not sure if I got that one. 1K? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, alright. Let's stab some boards and look for shorts. I need my power injection cables. Oh. There are CPUs with lower resistance, but you don't have any experience with Ryzen. Yeah, that's fair. The other board had like 14 ohms on the CPU, but that's a Ryzen 5000 as opposed to a Ryzen 3000, so who knows? Big ground connection. Make sure that's proper biting in. Thermal camera. And I'm going to set my power supply to 1 volt and 3 amps. Power on. And I'm going to stab that capacitor because that's main power rail. Right. Very unhelpfully, we've still got quite a lot of residual heat on the board. But hopefully when we actually see an actual hotspot, we should see something more noticeable. Let me just see if I can get some more heat out of it with some alcohol. Kind of. Sorry about the reflections, folks. All right. Let's get on with it. Let's see what happens. Ah. Yes. We've got something. We've got a live one. It's about here-ish. Macro lens. I think it's that MOSFET that we just reseated. And let me see if I can get you guys the close-up as well. Yeah, it's that MOSFET. Interesting. So whoever was fiddling with this, it looks like they might have been onto something. But also, that implies that there might have been a high side short here previously. I don't know, man. Am I wasting my time with this thing? Am I wasting my time here? We can take that guy back off the board again. Also, that's GPU, not CPU. Sod it, let's rip it off and see what the board does. It's coming off. So my current fear is that we might have had a short through the gate of that MOSFET, which means the PWM driver is probably kill. But we've kind of got nothing to lose at this point. I'm going to get the chassis, and I'm going to see if I can power this thing up. So yeah, let's see if it does anything. What do I need to power it up? I'm going to get the cooler, and I'm going to get a chipmunk and the charger. Let's do that, because that gives a sign of life. Because the problem is I don't know what state the chassis is in. Okay, right. Stand by, folks. What's my stream timer on? 1:45. That's okay. Right. Chipmunk. Had it the other day. There's one. Right. I'll give it a little bit of thermal paste just so it's actually got some contact with the cooler. That'll do. I'm not going to screw the cooler down or anything. I just need it to be I just need things not to explode while I just look for signs of life. Literally, as Francis said, blink once if you want to start. Literally, just show me that you're not dead. Show me that your CPU works. Although, to be honest, it's not the CPU that I'm worried about at this point. I'm kind of more worried about the GPU, but whatever. Right, let's bring the camera out. Whoop. Where is the charger? Did I unplug it? I did. There it is. Right. Oh, I hate it. The fan plugs in underneath the heatsink. How awkward. There we go. This is the GPU fan we've got connected, but there's a good chance that both of them will spin up at least when it turns on, so we'll know that it's doing something. Right, I think I'm going to need to find a power button, but I'm going to plug that in, just see if anything happens. Yes, we have lights. So, standby is on. We have fan spin. And we've got heat. We're looking for a green flash. Look at that. Okay, so number one, I forgot to actually check if our short circuit was clear. However, the PC, so The green flash, that means that there's activity on the USB port. So that means that the PCH is doing something. And if the PCH is doing something, especially on USB, that probably means that the CPU is running. So there is a good chance that the board works. As for RAM, I think this actually has built-in RAM. We've got some built-in RAM here. So yeah. So it's doing something. I'm going to put it in the chassis and see if we get a picture. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this information. Like, we've still got a missing MOSFET there. We've got a couple of missing capacitors. That's not a big deal. We can replace those. The MOSFET is a pain in the arse. I might have to track some of those down. The biggest bummer, it means that I can't rob the DC in MOSFETs from this one to fix the other board. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, let's get a chassis. Right. So this chassis has a big old dent in the screen. I'm just gonna... Ah, the screen is cracked. Okay. I'll put it in the good chassis. I guess we could have put it in the other chassis and gone for HDMI output, actually. But whatever, we're here now. Can I just drop this all in? Very awkwardly. Right. Okay, power button. I'll put some screws into the... Put some screws in here just to hold everything together. That's not the right kind of screw. I'll use the screws that are actually from the laptop as a special treat. Right, I just want like two. I just want to be able to open the screen without breaking the hinges. That screw looks too long. I think I'm going to long screw it. Oh, it must be that one though. Ah, I'm going to use the U. You'll definitely do. Okay. Right, I don't care about wireless antennas. I don't really care about the RTC. Yeah, I'll give it a RTC battery. If we're going for an actual post screen, we kind of want to make sure that it's got everything it should theoretically need. eBay, barely used. Stopped working overnight. Someone good with computers can probably fix. Real. Don't know what I actually want to happen with this, to be honest. Like, do we want it to work? I guess we kind of want it to work, but That means I've got to start sourcing MOSFETs, but I should learn how to do that though. Like, usually if I hit a high side short, I'm like, that's it, we're done. Because that also means I don't have to track down a replacement MOSFET. Whereas now I have to track down a replacement MOSFET. But it does get them a spare board. Right, that will do. It's not immediately going to explode. Plugged in, plugged in, plugged in. The display is plugged in. Right, that should be enough for it to do something. I'll give it the other fan as a special treat. Come on. Thread that guy in there. There we go. All right. Here we go. I plugged in the charger. We have a charge LED and we've got a power LED. Oh, good grief. That frightened the life out of me. It did the stupid Republic of Gamers shing noise. There we go, folks. It lives. All right. So it's a Ryzen 7 3750H with it's a GTX 1660 Ti. Huh. I'd have expected something better than that. But still, that's fine. It's a nice laptop. Okay. Right. I'm going to get an SSD. Because now the obvious question is the graphics card going to immediately freak out when we try and step on it with a load? Is the graphics card going to instantly go, "What the hell? I'm missing one of my power stages"? But like, it's only a 1660 Ti. It doesn't need all of those power stages. It's fine. It can work with one of its toes missing. Did anyone see how much RAM it had? It had some RAM, so that'll do, but I'm guessing it's got 8 gigs on board. That's enough for us to test with, at least. Bent copper line. Yeah, it's alright. But yeah, we will keep an eye on that. Okay, I'm going to try and straighten this out now. The temps aren't going to be very good as it is because the cooler isn't on properly. But hecking gamer things. Who wants a laptop to go shing? That's a stupid brand. Okay, this is a test SSD with a fairly clean install of Windows on it. So we should just boot into just our Windows 11 install. Right, can I tilt that to the point where you guys can actually see what's on the screen? No, that's as much as it opens. All right, hold on, I'm going to fiddle with the camera. Rebooting again. Right, camera 1. That'll do, that's something. You get that? Yeah, that HP got a new battery. That's all sorted now. At least the sound lets you know it's starting up again. Yeah, it's certainly something. We haven't even gotten to the board that I actually want to fix yet. But the fact that we've gotten this board working is extremely interesting. What voltage should a BIOS battery have, and when is it best to change? So, the full charge voltage is 3.3 volts. It is powering a 3.3 volt logical high circuit. So, and it goes through a diode to actually get to that circuit. And it's going to lose about 250 millivolts there. So, if the real-time clock circuit that it's powering, that is probably going to start having problems when you get down to like sort of 2.6, 2.7 volts. That's when it's going to start getting a bit confused as to whether it's logical high or low, because at that point it's now in an undefined state. So the system that is looking for 3.3 volt, yes, 0 volt, no. If you're at 2.7, is that a yes or a no? Who knows? So that's when you can start having problems. And so because you're going through a diode to get there, you're losing about 200, 250 millivolts. So by the time the battery is down to 3.0 volts or 2.9 volts, you then lose another 200, 250, which gets you down to like, 2.7, 2.8. So in my book, if the cell reads 3.0 volts, that is low enough that I think it's worth replacing. Personally, I'll change anything that is less than 3.1 if it's in a laptop, because it's a pain in the ass to get to. So you replace it there for preventative maintenance. This is taking a really long time to boot, and I don't like it. On a desktop computer, I'll leave it alone until it's down to 3.0, because a desktop computer, it's so easy to change that you can let it run a lot lower. So yeah. Yeah, this is taking way too long to load. I don't like it. What are you doing? Maybe we're in a low power state because there's no battery connected. Southbridge RTT is generally designed to work as low as 2.0, but you've definitely seen it not work properly below 2.8. Yeah. I know, like, Dell laptops will sulk as soon as the battery is less than 3 volts. So, yeah, I generally take no chances. Yeah, the caps lock LED isn't responding, which makes me a bit worried. I'll turn it off and on again. I'm going to go into BIOS and just see if the keyboard is responding. Right. F8 for boot menu. Yeah, the keyboard is responsive. Have we got temperatures? CPU is at 67, 68. That's not great, but the fans aren't freaking out. So, yeah. Even if we assume that the CPU is jumping up in temperature when it actually starts booting up, it's probably fine. I don't think that's burning up. Okay. Is it detecting? Yeah, it's detecting the SSD. I want to move on to the other motherboard. I just want this thing to... Okay, it's doing something now. Okay, that's fine. Windows just sulking, maybe. I just want to throw a slight load at it to see if the GPU actually works. The fans are ramping up. I think I'm going to actually have to put some... Yeah, I'll put some screws in the cooler. Especially because I actually want to load it. Right. Or is she taking off? Right, let's just get some screws into the cooler. Let's power it off. For a moment, I was going to just put some screws in. I'm like, don't be stupid. What are you doing? So, yeah. Alright. Right, that cooler is actually screwed down now, so it has some cooling. And I will... No, I'll leave those disconnected. That should be good enough. Literally just need to make it do something in 3D, just so we can see that the GPU actually functions, because it has onboard graphics as well, just it turning on and booting up doesn't mean the graphics card works. Alright, here do we go. Close enough. Ooh, big stretch. So is RAM single channel? I mean, it'll be dual channel if we put another RAM module in it, but I don't really care about RAM performance right now. Yeah, like RAM speed is kind of immaterial if the GPU doesn't work. What am I drinking? I am drinking Stoford Press apple cider. It's one of my favorites. This is my favorite. This is my favorite trash cider. And trash cider is a little bit harsh, but it's my favorite cider that I would drink out of a can. You know, like if we want the good stuff, we've got the good stuff that that Caradog and I usually drink. However, as a basic cider that is not garbage, Stoford Press is my go-to. Hello, Galvani. We fixed a laptop that was in atrocious condition. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that this thing even turns on. Right now, the GPU is missing one of its MOSFETs. So we kind of just want to hit the GPU with a load to see if it actually functions, because the laptop turns on, but I have my doubts. Bang. Oh, we're not going to have drivers, are we? I'm going to have to get drivers for the wretched thing. Yeah, we're not seeing a graphics card here. It's Xing. Okay, does the graphics card appear in Device Manager? We've got is that a code 10? Yeah, we've got a code 10 on one of the graphics cards. No prizes for guessing which one that is. Details, which one are you? 10DE? Yeah, 10DE, that's NVIDIA. And the other one should be AMD. $10.02. I can't remember which one is which. Yeah, NVIDIA's 10DE. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a code 10 on the GPU. Let's put a driver on it and see what happens. We've got no Wi-Fi either. It's installing stuff. We're not gonna get Wi-Fi. Let me just get a Wi-Fi adapter. That much being said, though, the integrated graphics, that seems to work just fine. So it might be that the discrete graphics is kill, but if it works on integrated, then it's still a functional laptop of sorts. If you don't have the proper drivers for iGPU, the DGPU may not work either. Yeah, would it throw code 10 though? We'll find out. Yeah, we're going to have to install drivers for this thing. That's going to take... Oh, I've got to download... A sensible person would have these driver packages downloaded already, but... Okay, right. Hold on a sec, folks. Everyone activate your keystroke logging microphones now. So you can tell what my Wi-Fi password is just purely on the sound of me typing. Turn on Windows backup. No, thank you. Not right now. Okay, right. AMD.com. Nvidia.com. Together we advance _AI. Support. Drivers. We're gonna auto. Yeah, sure. Let's do auto detect and see what happens. Nvidia Fireside Chat. I don't know who these people are, and I don't care. Drivers. GeForce. Can I use the Game Ready driver for this? I might have to get it from the Asus website. GTX 16 series notebooks. That'll do. I think it's just going to give me the Game Ready driver, but it's adamant 123 exclamation mark. Yeah, Game Ready driver. Fine. I don't want to view it. I just want to download it. Okay. Cooling system is taking off, but fine. It can throttle into the Stone Age. It's probably installing Windows Update and stuff like that, so yeah. Okay, right. AMD Magic Driver Installer thing. How's Device Manager looking right now? Hammering the SSD, but it's doing stuff. Okay. And our CPU is still at 3.5 gigahertz, so we're not throttling into the Stone Age either. Right. RX Vega 10 graphics. Sure, give me that then. Yeah, Device Manager has got a bunch of unknowns in it. Let's just check what Windows Update is doing at the moment. This is not entertaining to watch, so I'm a bit like... I'm actually just going to pause the recording, because there's already a bunch of padding in it. You're up to... Okay, Windows Update isn't doing anything right now. That's fine. Let's just get the graphics drivers installed, and then we'll install the rest of the stuff. Right, that's downloading. Downloading. Okay, we're downloading. Yeah, I'll do the AMD drivers first, because if the GTX is throwing a code 10, then the NVIDIA drivers probably won't install. I'm fully expecting the NVIDIA driver to just say there's no NVIDIA card fitted right now. However, my internet is slow, so now we have to wait for this to do a thing. I'm going to quickly transfer across heaven. Give me heaven. Have I got GPU Z here? I don't think I do. I've got hardware info, but that'll do. Okay, let's unplug that. Right, what I might do is I'm going to flip this over. And I'm just going to connect the Wi-Fi antennas and just stick the back cover on just so I can push this to one side while it's downloading stuff. Oh, the cooling's calming down now. In a shock to no one, when you actually provide airflow to the cooling fans, the laptop will stop freaking out. So, yeah. Now the fans aren't suffocated for oxygen, they're actually doing something. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's gone silent now. Okay. Right, that's installing some drivers. By the time I've done that, it's now just finished. I'll leave it to install software. Like Windows Update can run and it can do stuff and things. Stop recording. Let's power inject this other one. Okay. Right. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Right. Yeah, the chassis looks a lot like a Tough does, actually. This is a ROG Zephyrus, though, and I think the Zephyrus is the low-end Republic of Gamers. I stand to be corrected. I don't know the Asus lineup very well. Alright. Okay, yeah. Let's power inject this guy now. And let's find out where the short is on this one. So, yes. I will indeed start recording again. I'm just going to turn things back on. Right, so when I was last recording for this one, we'd gone through the checklist. So now I just need to actually stab it. So, turn on my power supply. Start recording. Right, I'll hook up a ground crocodile clip. Take out the RAM module. It's got another RAM. It's got more RAM soldered onto the back, but whatever. And thermal cam. Okay, so we're coming in with the P2 Pro now, and we're going to stab it and look for the hotspot. So I'm going to stab this capacitor here, because that's on the main power rail. So that's an easy place where I can stab it with power at 1 volt and 3 amp, and we're going to look for the hotspot and see what heats up. So here we go. We've got a lot of residual heat on the mat at the moment, but that's okay. Try and get rid of the reflections. Actually, I'm just going to record. That way, if there's reflections all over the screen, then you guys can just look at the recording. All right. Okay, so we've gone up to 1 volt at 1.7 amps, which isn't great, so we don't have a good connection. Not seeing anything happen right now. Let's back off. I'm going to move my ground clamp just to make sure that's got a good connection. Let's try that screw hole there. And before I stab it again, I'm just going to double check that we're actually still shorted, just to make sure I'm not going insane. Yeah, we must have just had a bad connection there. We've got like 0.07 ohms. So, yeah, like, it doesn't get any... You don't get any more shorted than that. I may as well stab the probes into the earth, you know. All right. I think that's just the crocodile clip not giving me a good connection. Hup. 1.5. Yeah, I'm getting a terrible connection. Okay. I'll try one more time. I'll grab the DC jack. If I don't get a good connection this time, I'll actually get another probe out. The problem is that I'm trying to hold 3 things at once, which is why I'm trying to use a crocodile clip. But crocodile clips don't get a good connection, so... Okay, there's 2 amps. Two amps and nothing. Okay. Other side of the board? I would expect 2 amps, even if it's on the other side, I'd expect to get some bleed through. Okay, so on the back side of the board, I'm going to stab the current sense resistor because that's also on the main power rail. It might be one of these big boys down here. Going to check those first. Nothing. Okay, we might have to get serious with this one. This isn't a good sign because it means that whatever it is able to soak up 2 amps of current without showing itself. And that's never a good sign. Right. Under SSD or Wi-Fi, yeah, we'll take them off. Okay, we'll have a look under these. If that doesn't work, I'm going to solder on a jumper wire just so I actually get a really, really good connection. Like, we've got dead 0 ohms. So we should be seeing something here, man. What are you doing? Installing. Okay. Right, here we go again. Pow. Right, 1.9 amps. It's not over there. Coming in with the low angle view. Checking for reflections. Nope, still nothing. All right. I'm going to solder a jumper wire onto it so I can actually go hands-free. Been a while since I've had to do this. Where's some nice bits of wire? You'll do. Oh, no, I don't want to use you. Ah, you'll do. You brought a button to solder on? That's a neat idea. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Most of the time, the stab technique works. But yeah, this one is being mean. It's not a good sign, though. This kind of implies that whatever it is going to be problematic, but whatever. Right. Le ground. And there's the current sense resistor. I'm going to solder onto the current sense resistor. Whoop. All right, now I have two wires with a dead short circuit between them, which I shall... Whoops, sorry folks, I just scratched the mic. Right, now I have two wires with a short circuit between them, as I can demonstrate here. There we go. Right, so now I should be able to put big fat clamps onto those and have a really good connection into our short. And then we can dump 3.5 amps into it and something should happen. There's my red clamp. Good. There we go. All right. Okay, now we've got some nice big fat wires connecting in, so we should have a really strong connection. Fortunately, we've also got a whole bunch of heat on the board now because I've soldered on it. Let's see what happens. All right, now we're at 3 amps and 0 volts. And I'm seeing something here. I think that's it. Just going to look around. Yeah, that's it. Yep, something's going nuclear there. Let me put on the macro lens. There we go. So what am I looking at? I am looking at that guy there. Oh, it's on a ground plane. That's why it didn't show up. Okay. I'm going to stop everything. Right, we're done with you. Keep control of everything and just take things off as I don't need them anymore before I drown in all of the bits and pieces on the desk. Okay, alcohol amongst... Alcohol doesn't do anything, but... I mean, you know, it's been a while since I've showed it, so sure. One sec. Let me just plug the crocodile clips back in. I mean, I guess alcohol is good for checking your work, but so does a massive flare-up on a thermal camera. There we go. It was that guy. Whoops, it was that guy there. And actually... There you go. That guy's pretty dead. Whether it was cracked before we dumped 3 amps into it or not, we'll never know. But it sure as hell is cracked now. So yeah. Try some freeze. We don't need to try anything. We know that that's it. This is the thing. Thermal camera trumps everything. Like, this is why you don't see anyone using any of the wacky methods anymore. Because thermal camera just wins. The thermal camera tells you everything. But... just for the sake of demonstrating it, if I put some alcohol on that and turn on the power supply, oh, there you go. It's starting to dry, but the problem is that we're sitting on a ground plane here, and the ground plane is sucking up all the heat. There we go. So you can see that guy's dried out now, and now we can just touch it, and it dries out. Whereas these guys over here, if I touch those with the alcohol, these guys don't dry out. This guy dries out. It's not obvious enough to get boiling, but I mean, but I could... no. I was about to say we could go up to 4 amps, but... I'm not going to start torturing this board because we do actually want to fix it. So yeah. That's a really nasty one. That's a really nasty one because it's sitting on a ground plane. This is why thermal cameras are the win. So yeah. That much being said, I get it. Not everyone can afford a thermal camera. But if you're doing repair, it should be a very high priority purchase for you. Okay, right. I'm just going to quickly grab my hot tweezers, which are already plugged in from earlier on. Let's just pop that guy off the board. I need some extra solder. Wet the joins. There we go. The tweezers might struggle with this because it's on a ground plane. These tweezers are not. There we go. Yeah, those tweezers can start struggling when you're on something particularly heavy duty. Stop. Right, so first of all, there's our lad. And in a shocking surprise to no one, it's dead. 0 ohms. And now, if we go up to our main power rail and check this guy again, our main power rail is no longer shorted. So, this board is now fixed. Right, so, question is, what was it? Do I even care? Shall I just slap a 22 microfarad on there? I think I'm just going to slap a 22 microfarad on there and leave it. Because it's either going to be a 10 or a 22. And a 22 isn't going to hurt it. Can you get a thermal camera for £50? I don't know. I haven't looked at what the cheapest ones look like yet. I haven't looked at them in a while, if I'm honest. Normally, I expect £200. Didn't see where that capacitor just went. It's there somewhere. There it is. It won't be 22 nano. It'll be 22 micro. 22 microfarad, and that's going to be. I'm putting on a 25 volt cap because we're on the main power rail, so it needs to be rated for at least 20 volts. So yeah. They're extremely expensive for hobby applications. Yeah, that's understandable. And plus, also, you know, like developing countries. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, you can get phones with thermal cameras. There might be old ones, but yeah, that'd be better than nothing. Even if the camera is not particularly high detail, even if you buy an old thermal camera, they'll still give you wildly more information. You'll see stuff that you will just never ever find by hand. Oh yeah, it's flux. There we go. This laptop's taking off again. At least it's actually doing stuff though. We'll check in on the laptop in a sec. Oh, it helps if I actually heat the tweezers up. Soren checked a couple of the cheap ones, and so did Learn Electronics Repair. Oh, that's cool, yeah. Worth a look then. The last one I looked at was the one that I actually use. I do get some offers for other thermal cameras, but I haven't accepted any of them lately, just because none of them have been of particular interest to me. I'm generally not really interested in reviewing something unless I think I'm going to like it. Oh, heavy ground plane. There we go. There we go. Oop. Good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this board needs new input. MOSFETs as well. That's a bummer. I'll just carry on tidying up here. Then we'll figure out what I'm going to do about that. I don't know if I can do anything about that right now without buying parts, which is vexing. Ground plane. There we go. Good. Okay, so right, so our input MOSFETs. I recorded this bit earlier on, but I'll show you guys just where we're up to with those. So if I switch up into diode mode, what we'll see. So firstly on, let's just quickly check a healthy MOSFET, just so you know what we're supposed to be seeing. Let's go over to these guys here. So on a healthy MOSFET, in diode mode, we'll see... Oh, that's a weird one, 0.22. What about you? There we go. So we've got a 0.5 volt drop in one direction. That's the effect of the body diode inside the MOSFET. So the MOSFET doesn't actually have a diode in it, but because of physics, it behaves the same way that a diode does. And we drop 0.5 volt. We have 0.5 volt of forward voltage going through the diode. If we check the other direction, the body diode blocks everything, and we get open line. And then if we check from the gate, we get open line, and then open line, open line, and open line. So the gate is high impedance in all directions. FLIR is very expensive. Yeah, the one I currently use the Infrared P2 Pro, which is still very good value for money. So that's what a MOSFET is supposed to look like. Now, these MOSFETs here, however, when I probe these ones, as you'll see, we've got a dead short circuit in one direction. We've got a dead short circuit in the other direction. And our gate is showing 1 volt. Doesn't look good. It's something. I think you do sometimes get some voltage on the gate, but yeah. Either way, that's shorted through. This one, I'm not sure. This one I think is dead, but we'll see. Okay, we've got 0.5 volt there, so that's correct. An open line in the other direction. I think this one is okay, actually. That one I think is okay. This guy is dead short, though. So this dude has to go. If this was some basic bitch laptop, I would just steal a MOSFET from a donor board. But the problem is that this is a gaming laptop with a big fat power supply. That MOSFET actually has to carry a considerable amount of wattage. So I kind of need to find something that is actually correct for it. So we're going to have to track that down. So in the land of the video, so I'm going to track down a replacement MOSFET and we'll get this guy swapped out. Oh, actually, no. I just need to re-record. I just need to do a take for the video now. Hold on. So the main issue with this motherboard is now fixed. However, we still need to deal with that shorted input MOSFET. So I'm going to track down a replacement MOSFET for that guy. See you after the cut. Stop recording. Okay. Right. So this board is fixed and it needs a new input MOSFET. I can't be bothered to think about where I'm going to find that right now. I guess I could Google it. Oh, I'm getting tired and I'm kind of done, if I'm honest. But like, we know this guy is going to work, so I kind of already have my win. But let's have a look. All right, what are you? You are Nikos. PKCH2BB. PKCH2BB. Alright. It is an N-channel MOSFET. Available for sale on eBay. Oh, okay, hold on. Looks like eBay's got one. If I do display capture... Pow. Alright. There you go. I could buy one on eBay. £3.80. So that's a consideration. I might do that. I could probably find them cheaper from a distributor. We also need another one for the GPU on that other board. I think that's worth doing. Those were on semiconductors, so that's a different one. So yeah, the problem is that buying two MOSFETs from a distributor is going to suck. So just like straight away, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pay the eBay price. Sure it's a Nikos one on eBay? I mean, it might be a compatible one. No, yeah, it's fine. It's got Nikos written on the chip. It'll be fine. No worse than the ones that are already on there. So yeah, Ali. Yeah, if I buy from AliExpress, I'm going to be waiting ages for it though. So yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, you know, everyone knocks eBay, but it's £3.80. I'm going to be charging the customer £100 to fix this motherboard. I don't care about £3.80. That's just a commodity cost, man. That's the cost of consumables. So yeah, I'm just going to buy that. If I were using these all the time, then I would buy a bunch of them from AliExpress and get the savings. But like, how long is it going to be before I use up more of these? I don't know, man. So yeah. Don't you have a box like Soren? No, that's the problem. I don't have enough gaming donor boards lying about. Like I said, if this was some basic bitch HP laptop, I've got a dozen donor boards down here, and one of those would have an input MOSFET that I can use. But I don't have any gaming motherboards in stock with a big boy MOSFET like that guy on it. So yeah. So there's that. So we need that, and we need one of the on semiconductors for the other board. But let's see how that laptop is doing first. Let's see if that laptop is actually making progress. Because also, if the CPU is kill on this, then I'm not going to bother replacing that MOSFET. Also, though, maybe if I replace that MOSFET, the CPU comes back, the GPU comes back to life. So, all right, let's see where we're up to on this thing. The truest test of a genuine component, the right name on the chip. I mean, yeah, but whatever. Right. I don't want to launch the software. Finish. Okay, right. Device manager. Where are we up to? Okay, so the good news is we've installed basically everything. Our LAN card is throwing a code 10. Sorry, our wireless card. I don't really care about that. It looks like we've got a couple of yeah, we've got a couple of errors here. We've got a USB error. We've got another unknown device. Looks like the wireless card is kill, but who cares? We can replace that. However, unfortunately, we've got graphics drivers installed, but we've got code 43. Reboot? Yeah. Let's give it a reboot and see what happens, but I think yeah, I'm really inclined to buy a replacement MOSFET, because the GPU might be just throwing an error because it's got a vCore error. Press on chipset and boot. I mean, it's probably throwing an error because it's missing a hecking thing. So yeah. Borrow a MOSFET from the other. I don't really want to do... Nah. This one's got known good vCore on it. I kind of don't want to mess with it. I mean, I could. We could YOLO that. Are the two MOSFETs the same? There might be. Even if they're not identical, they're probably close enough. Also, though, we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes. Hello? I think it's upset. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to source a new MOSFET for it. I'm going to buy a couple of MOSFETs. Especially, let's just see if we can find one of these MOSFETs on eBay as well, because that'll also satisfy me. Yeah, AliExpress stuff can show up quickly, but if I can pay £3 to buy another on-semi MOSFET for this on eBay that's going to arrive by Tuesday, then it just means that I can get this done and out the way as soon as possible. Because also, bearing in mind, the customer has already been waiting a week or two for me to look at this laptop. I don't want to wait another 10 days to find out if it's fixable. Yeah, this is giving me a black screen again. It kind of works, it's just not very happy. I think the GPU throwing code 43s is upsetting Windows now. Is it trying to use the dGPU? Maybe, yeah. I think what we've discovered is that it kinda sorta works. But I think that's where I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to... Let's see if we can find a thing for it. Oh, that heat pipe is proper bent. But also, we don't need the cooling system on this one to work. Like, the screen on it is smashed already. The interest here is just... The interest on this one is just having a spare motherboard. So, yeah. Okay, let's take the cooling off and check what MOSFET it has and see if I can find a replacement one. And then I think that's where I'm going to that's where I'm going to call it for now. Get on up. Hinge. Damn it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Get off. Oh, I missed the screw. Genius. Silence. Silence, chat. This is why we don't yank. We just slowly pry and probe. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. We'd already removed the thing. This is why it's time to stop, folks. Alright, fine. Right, that's what we're looking for. ALK18CX. Let's try that. LK18CX. Nothing. Zero results on Google for that. 5018SG. Yeah, that gets me a result. FDPC 5018SG. That's what we're looking for. And once again, eBay has one. I want 10 quid for it, though. I'm not so sure about paying a tenner for a single MOSFET. Now you're pushing your luck. Anyone got one at a price that doesn't suck? Yes. It's delivery from China. No. Anyone in the UK? If it's coming from China, I may as well get it from AliExpress. No. Okay. I could get an air filter for a Subaru Forester, though. Alright. Ali. Paste. Okay, there we go. Quid. Yeah, okay. If I'm getting this one from AliExpress, then I'll probably get the other one from AliExpress as well. Because now, if I'm placing an AliExpress order, I may as well get them both there. If it had been available on eBay, then that would have been cool. Where's my chat gone? It's over there. There we go. Yeah. If it had been available on eBay, then I'd have gone for that. But if I'm getting one from Ali, I may as well get them both from Ali. Buy a used board, unfixable. How much do you think that's going to cost, Firephone? For a whole board that could have various problems with it and blown up input MOSFETs. Right. Borrow input MOSFET to get the other one to work to test. I don't think that's worth doing. At this point, we've no reason to believe why the other board won't work. There's no reason to believe why there's anything else wrong with that. It just needs an input MOSFET. Right now, although that much being said, of course, yeah, I could just take the input MOSFETs off of this one and then fix this board. That, I think, actually is worth doing. But also, we're at the 3-hour marker and I'm spent. So that's a job for Tuesday, Graham. And I think I will do that because that gets one of the boards working. And then I'll say to the customer, I'm going to keep going with the other one because I do believe it's fixable. So, yeah. Good. All right. That's me done for the day, folks. I'm going to throw in the towel there. But that is a very surprising result. I believe both of those boards are going to work. I'm not convinced that this one will work properly. I think this is going to be a no graphics repair, desktop only. But still, that's something. And it's probably, I think that's worth doing it just for the sake of being like, it's whatever. Do it for the content. Yeah, close Sundays and Mondays. So Ali is the way to go. Yeah, I'll go for AliExpress for this one just because eBay doesn't have the on semiconductor MOSFET that I need. So I'm going to have to place an AliExpress order anyway. So yeah. B580 videos this week. I spoke about that earlier on in the stream. Right, I'm out. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Time to change the LCD. Yeah. Oh, you're doing that. Fair enough. Yeah. Enjoy. I'm going home. Good night, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I will be streaming on Twitch on Monday night because I'm busy tomorrow. So if you want to hear more of my dumb voice, I'm playing through Silksong, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.